Hi guys, my name is Nonima Digela. Welcome to the Noni M podcast. So today I want us to talk about the Senzo case, particularly the description of the accused and the things that are found. You know, we are always doing research about the case, things that you can find from way back like in 2014. But sorry, but before we get into doing that, guys, please make sure that you do not forget to like, to share, to comment. And most importantly, please make sure that you are subscribed on the channel. Please make sure you are watching the videos up until the end and you are watching the ads that are coming through. When you are doing that, you will be supporting this channel financially and in numbers. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you doing that. So you know that engagement is key on social media. Now, I was checking for something yesterday and I came across this. The time right now is 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. So I'm doing this video at that time. Ne? So I was checking for this yesterday. No, on Thursday night. I was on a live on TikTok and we were having a conversation and then I just started checking for the ID kids of the accused when they were released. This is what I found interesting. I'm going to read this article. It's from 28 October 2014. And it had made me realize that there's a lot of truth that is hidden right in front of our face. ID kits of suspects Meyiwa killing released. This is News 24 of 28 October 2014. National Police Commissioner Ria Piecha has released the ID kits of two men believed to be behind the killing of Bafana Bafana Captain Senzo Meyiwa. During a press conference on Tuesday in Johannesburg, Piecha gave the description of the two suspects. Police are appealing to anyone who may identify the ID kits of the suspects below to come forward. Police spokesperson Neville Malila told Sapion Tuesday. They were compiled after police had interviewed witnesses. The first attacker who entered Meyiwa's girlfriend Kelly Khumalo's home in Vosloorus, Ekurhuleni, on Sunday night was believed to be aged between 25 and 29. He was believed to be 1.68 meter tall, slender, and had dreadlocks to just below his jawline here. Guess what? Umncube at that time, his dreadlocks were this long, like this bright. They were very long. They came up to here, his shoulders. Do you see that's point number one, that Mncube is not supposed to be in that box? And then and a gold upper tooth, which he claims he never had one in his life, and that is why he's insisting on being taken to doctors to check that out. At the time of the crime, he was wearing a brown jacket with a woolen collar. The jacket that he was wearing that day, it was khaki, and it did not have a woolen collar from the pictures that we have seen. And a hat with a checkered pattern, he did not have one, according to him. The second man, who was standing outside the gate of Khumalo House, was believed to be about 25, about 1.8 meters tall and slender. He wore a black hooded top and also had a gold tooth, dreadlocks, and beard. So, first of all, Untanzi did not have a gold tooth. Untanzi did not have dreadlocks. Do you see the reasons why these people are not supposed to be in there? A beard and a mustache, and he did not have none of those. Meyiwa was shot in his upper body while visiting his girlfriend Kelly Khumalo in Vosloorus on Sunday. One shot was fired inside the house and two more were fired randomly outside. The attackers used a 38 revolver, so no cartridges were left on the scene, police said on Monday. We need these interviews where police were saying these things. We need these interviews so that they can also use on television. They can be used, in court. Since Balo is applying for the footage from ENCA, we better get these footages where it speaks, where police are giving interviews and saying that the 838 revolver was used. The attackers demanded cell phones and money. Piecha said a multidisciplinary task team has been established to investigate the murder. The team will be led by Gauteng Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Detective Services, Major General Tibelo Musikili. And we have not heard of Musikili in that courtroom. Have we? Maybe once. I don't know. It is alleged that two suspects entered the house and confronted the occupants in the house while a third suspect was outside. A shot was fired. The goalkeeper was hit in the upper body and taken to hospital, where he was declared dead on arrival. The three suspects fled on foot. Police have launched a manhunt. A reward of 250,000 was being offered for information that could lead to the arrest and conviction of the killers. The reason I was saying that some things are hidden just in plain sight, because if this article from the 28th of October 2014 is talking about the revolver, and the descriptions also are not what the descriptions that are here are not what the people in court are having or ever heard the gold tooth. So it shows these descriptions that these people had gold tooth back then. Let me read another article from 10 years ago also. It is from IOL. ID kits of Meyiwa suspect released, because we are checking what is similar with this. Police have released ID kits of the two men believed to be behind the killing of Senzo Meyiwa, the Bafana Bafana and Orlando Pirates captain and goalkeeper. Meyiwa was shot dead while visiting his on and off again girlfriend Songbird Kelly Khumalo at her home in Vosloorus, Ekurhuleni, on Sunday night. His killers then fled with a cell phone. And National Police Commissioner Ria Pierre announced on Monday that she had set up a multidisciplinary task team made up of forensic crime intelligence and visible policing members to handle the murder case. A reward of 250,000 was being offered for information that could lead to the arrest and conviction of the killers. Crime intelligence is looking for the cell phone stolen from the house. The ID kits were reportedly compiled after police spoke to the Khumalus and other witnesses who were in the house when Meyiwa was killed. SAPS spokesman Brigadier Neville Malila reportedly said that the men are believed to be aged between 25 and 29. In the ID kits, the first suspect is described as having a slender build with high cheekbones, which Undanze does not have high cheekbones. He has dreadlocks and gold tooth in his apartheid, which he never had. He was wearing a brown jacket, or I guess they are describing the second intruder. A brown jacket with a woolen collar and a hat with a checked pattern at the time of the murder, which is from the photos that we see, he was wearing a khaki jacket. It does not have a woolen collar. It doesn't. That picture doesn't. The second suspect has been described as having a medium brown complexion. Undanzi is dark-skinned. You can't tell me anything else. Dark-skinned, with dreadlocks and a beard and a mustache, which he doesn't have. He was wearing a black hooded top at the time of the murder. According to the reports, Meyiwa's family are to hire services of private investigators to assist the police. Anyone with information can call. Do you see, guys, now why we are always asking questions and questions? Let me check the one from Kickoff. It shows case, let's see, Vosloorus case 636-10/2014, name, armed robbery. That's what murder and armed robbery, right? And then this one. Suspect A, in a Senzo Meyiwa murder case special composition, he entered the house first. Suspect B, Senzo Meyiwa murder case, was standing outside gate. This keeps on, like, it's been like this forever. Stories have been different since I can't remember when it comes to this case. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts when it comes to this? Did you hear from the first reading that they spoke about a revolver? They spoke about a revolver. They spoke about a revolver. So why should we move away from that? That is a very weird thing to deal with right now. Anyway, what are your thoughts when it comes to that? Let's talk in the comment section. I will see you on our next video. Bye bye.